Okay, welcome to Fundations Unit 11, Week 2, Day 5. The objective is that today we will practice the long vowel sounds, the vowel consonant E syllable, and we will reread a story to practice fluency. For our sound drill, remember to say the letters, the keyword, and the sounds along with me. B, bat, b. L, lamp, l. R, rat, X, fox, x. WH, whistle, w. And our R controlled vowel sounds, AR, car, R. ER, her, IR, bird, Good job. Now let's review our vowel sounds. A, apple, A. A, safe, A. E, ed, E, Pete, E. I, itch, I, pine, I. O, octopus, ah. O, home, O. U, up, U, mule, U. U, rule, oo. Now, last week we read this story. Today we are going to reread it and practice retelling. And a retell means you tell the story again, but we'll do it in our own words. So take a minute, read the title, see if you can remember what this story was about. Can you remember the characters? Can you remember the setting? Do you remember the events that happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end? If you do, great. If you don't, that's fine. We're going to reread the story together now. So our title is Jake the Whale. I'm going to read and I'll scoop underneath as I'm reading through. All you need to do is follow along or read along with me. If you want to read it by yourself, remember that this is a video, so you can just pause it and then you can read the whole story by yourself. All right, here we go. Jake the whale was very big. He had many whale friends. They all would ride the waves. One time, Jake and his friends were out on the waves, and Jake dove down into the sea. He went to hide, and his friends did not see where he went. They could not get him. I think that Jake is lost, said one of his friends. But Jake was not lost at all. He did a flip and a jump and was back with his other whale friends. They all swam into the big waves and had fun. Great job rereading with me. So if you remember last week, we used these pictures and these numbers to point out where the characters, the setting, and the events of the story were. So we put the whale icon next to where it says Jake and his friends because those are the characters in this story. We put the wave icon next to where it says waves because the sea and the waves are where the story is taking place, the setting. Then we put the number 1 for something that happened at the beginning, 2 for what happened in the middle, and 3 for what happened at the end. These were the main events. So the 1 is next to where Jake and his friends were out on the waves and Jake dove down into the sea. Then we put the 2 next to where his friends couldn't find him and thought that he was lost. Then we put the 3 next to where Jake did a flip and a jump and then came back to his other whale friends. So those were what we picked out as the 3 main events. Now, we're going to read this story one more time together. Then we'll practice retelling. And remember, retelling is when you tell the story over again. You use your own words and you make sure you're telling about the characters, the setting, and the main events of the story. So one more reread to help make sure we really understand the story in our head before we try and retell. Good readers always read something more than once so that they really understand what they read. All right, back at the top. Jake the whale was very big. He had many whale friends. They all would ride the waves. One time, Jake and his friends were out on the waves, and Jake dove down into the sea. He went to hide, and his friends did not see where he went. They could not get him. I think that Jake is lost, said one of his friends. But Jake was not lost at all. He did a flip and a jump and was back with his other whale friends. They all swam into the big waves and had fun. All right, great job rereading. Now, let's look at our retell page. So I gave us the same picture so that we could remember in our minds what we had read about. Then we've got our character setting and event icons over here so that after we retell, we can go back and we can label all of those things to make sure we included all of the story elements. So I gave us some words, some sentence starters. Some of these are transition words so that will help us go from one part of the retell to the other. So we have it all started, and let's go ahead and put where it all started. So it all started, where were they? In the sea. So I know I need a period at the end of my sentence. I'll go back and make sure my spaces are correct. So it all started in the sea. That's where they are. First, Jake and his whale. Oops. Gotta move this over so it's not getting in the way of the other words. Jake and his whale friends were swimming. And I'll change the size of this to make it a little bit smaller so that it's not getting mixed up with our other writing. Okay, so it all started in the sea. First, Jake and his whale friends were swimming. Then, Jake dove, let me move this over again, down deep, and his friends thought he was lost. I think that this one I'll have to make the text smaller as well. Okay, so move the text a little smaller. I can also move it up a little bit. All right, so it all started in the sea. And notice that each time I write, I'm going to reread what I wrote previously to make sure it all makes sense. It all started in the sea. First, Jake and his whale friends were swimming. Then Jake dove down deep and his friends thought he was lost. Finally, Jake jumped back up and returned to his friends to go have fun. Oops. Typing can get a little bit complicated. So let me make this last part a little bit smaller, and then it should fit all the way and we'll be able to see our entire retell. Okay, So we wrote, it all started in the sea. First, Jake and his whale friends were swimming. Then Jake dove down deep and his friends thought he was lost. Finally, Jake jumped back up and returned to his friends to go have fun. Now, the last thing that we'll want to do is go through and look at our story elements and add each to make sure we covered everything. So the characters, we named the character. What was the main character's name? That's right, Jake. And he was with his friends. So we'll put this right here because that's where it says Jake. And we know he's with his friends in that second sentence. Now the setting. Did we identify the setting? Did we say where the story is taking place? Definitely. Right at the beginning, we said that it all started in the sea. So I told the name of the characters, I told the setting. Now we're going to go back and check for the events. Remember, we have a 1, 2, and 3 to say what happened at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So the first event is easy to find because we use the word first. We said first, Jake and his whale friends were swimming. The second event, we can say, then Jake dove down deep and his friends thought he was lost. So that's the second thing that happened. Finally, Jake jumped back up and returned to his friends to go have fun. So that would be the third thing that happened. So we have our setting, our character, and our 3 main events. I love, love, love using our transition words because that helps us to know that you're explaining the different events. So we said it all started. We said first for the first event. We said then for the second event. And then we said finally for what happened at the end. Great job practicing retelling with me. Do you think that you could go tell someone this story all on your own now? That's a nice challenge. So you should try and tell someone, maybe someone that you live with, or you can call someone, your friend or your relative on the phone, and try to tell them the story of Jake the whale that you just read. All right, now it's your turn to practice your writing. So today we're going to have 6 words. 3 are trick words, 3 are unit words, and then we'll have 1 sentence. Today is special because all of the words are going to come from the story we read called Jake the Whale. So remember to listen carefully to the words and the sentence. If it's a unit word, tap it out, write everything on your paper, and then go back afterwards and mark it up. So first word, the word is one, like the number 1. The second word is friends, like I play outside with my friends. Your third trick word is many, like I have many crayons to use. Many. Remember, you can write this with your whiteboard and marker, with your pencil and paper. If you need to pause, rewind, or rewatch the whole video, it's totally up to you. Take your time. All right, now we've got 3 unit words. All of these are vowel, consonant, E words, so make sure you're remembering your marking, make sure you're remembering what happens to the vowel when it's a vowel, consonant, E word. All right, the first word is hide. Like in the story, Jake went to hide down deep in the water. Hide. The second word is dove, like I dove off the diving board. Dove, dove, dove. And then the third word is waves, like I was swimming in the waves. Okay, now the sentence. The sentence has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 words. Only 6 words in this sentence today. So remember to start your sentence the right way and to end your sentence the right way. The sentence is, Jake the whale was very big. Jake the whale was very big. Okay, now that you have everything written, remember to go back and get all of your marking done. You guys did a really great job today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.